For this particular morning meditation from a man cave, I want to talk about a subject that was going to raise an eyebrow or two. First, I wrote a social media post that I want to respond to, or that I want to elaborate on, rather. I wrote, God has sent some people into our lives to help us in a sprint. It was our own mistake to think that God had sent them to go the distance with us. The challenge is discerning those who only need to go 100 yards with us from those who are meant to go a mile with us. Never confuse the two. Much of our destiny hangs upon getting this one right. It's horrible to be thinking about spending a lifetime with someone while they're thinking about you, much like the Luther Vandross song, If Only for a Night. And today, I want to talk to you, if I would give this particular morning meditation a subject, it would be unequally yoked. Unequally yoked. In church settings, we hear that all the time, unequally yoked. Don't be unequally yoked with unbelievers. And it's hard, we talk about, so many times in this day, we think that we can change people. But I'm submitting to you, child of God, or believer, or just a regular individual, that sometimes your push won't be great as their pull, and their pull will be greater than your push. It's hard to stay on a middle ground. When we talk about unequally yoked, it's, some of us have opposite worldviews, opposite morals. And this doesn't just go with believers and unbelievers. Being unequally yoked can be in a partnership, business, an organization, or a relationship. It's hard to be unequally yoked. I remember one show of Cops where they pulled someone over, one of the drug interdiction units. Pulled over these two individuals. Now, they should have had their game together better than this. But when the police got them out of the car on separate times, one of them said that they were going to New York, and the other person said that they were going to California. Now, they're traveling in one vehicle. That caused an alarm because they're going in two separate directions. And many times, even in life and even in spiritual things, we're in the same vehicles with people that aren't going in the same direction that we're going. That's why we're getting spiritual tickets. That's why our destiny is being delayed and our assignments are being canceled, because we're traveling and hooking up with the wrong folks. Because to be unequally yoked, a decision has to be made. One of the two must abandon their moral center and move towards the other. It's hard to travel with someone and you're going in two opposite directions. We're going in circles many times in life because we're simply hooking up with the wrong folks. Uniting opposites makes for a very difficult relationship. I know in the world we always say that opposites attract, but it's hard to travel on a journey when you're going east and the other individual is going west. I'm getting in your Kool-Aid today because much of my life, much like yours, we've hooked up with some of the wrong folks. It's hard to be unequally yoked. To the word, first of all, let's go to where we get the word unequally yoked. A yoke is a wooden bar that joins two oxen together, and to the burden they pull, or the weight that they're pulling. An unequally yoked team has one stronger ox and one weaker. The weaker ox will walk slower than the stronger ox, causing the load to go in circles. When oxen are unequally yoked, they cannot perform the task set before them. Instead of working together, they are at odds with one another. Maybe that's what our problem is. We're trying to walk with folks that we would never made to be walked with. Now let's go to what Paul said. Paul talked in 2 Corinthians, the 6th chapter, verses 14 through 18. The Apostle Paul said, "Be not unequally yoked with unbelievers. For what fellowship has righteousness with unrighteousness, and what communion have light with darkness? And what concord hath Christ with Belial, or what part hath he that believeth with an infidel? Basically, this is saying that it's hard if you're walking in one direction, it's hard for you to convert the other. You have no business with some of the hookups and assignments and entanglements that you have. God never called you. You knew that they were from a far country. You know that they're not going on the path that you're going for. God is, I don't care how fine the shape is, how buff the brother is, how her bottle looks like her shape looks like a Coca-Cola bottle, brother. You were never meant to walk. You guys are from two different worlds. 15, verse 15 again. And what concord hath Christ with Belial? That's another word with Satan. You have been brought up in the things of God, and now you find yourself entangled with a person that doesn't even believe. Or what part hath he that believeth with an infidel, a rebel? Verse 16, and what agreement hath the temple of God with idols? For ye are the temple of the living God, as God hath said, I will dwell in them and walk in them, and I will be their God, and they shall be my people. Here's old school holiness that you seldom hear preached on your television, on your Facebook feed, on any of the avenues that we get right now. You never hear this. This is old school holiness, and I remember when preachers used to actually preach this. 2 Corinthians 7, verse 17. Wherefore come ye out from among them, and be ye separate. This holiness thing, you can't walk with everyone. And some people feel, we all want to belong, we all want to click up, we all want to be a piece of or a part of this, but God is calling, God's word says, wherefore come ye out from among them, and be ye separate. God's calling you to stand out. And sometime to be a standout, you can't be one of the pack. Verse saith the Lord, and touch not the unclean thing. And the Lord said, and I will receive you, and will be a father unto you, and ye shall be my sons and daughters, saith the Lord Almighty. Maybe our destiny is delayed and our assignments have been aborted because we're spending too much time hooking up with the wrong folks. God's calling you out of something. Come ye out from among them and be ye separate. God's calling you to be distinct. God's calling you to walk in power and walk in victory. Walk with your head up. Walk with your back straightened down. There are so many fewer people that are essential to your destiny than what you believe. You're trying to carry a crowd into your tomorrow when God only wanted you to carry a few. They were meant to spend minutes with you. And here you are 30 years later, still hooking up with the folks